Hey guys, Jaden Irwin here with Little Sticks. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be going through how to set up a link in bio page with Astro version 1.0. A couple of little announcements in here too, so feel free to join along and let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is just kind of see what we're building. If you look at Linktree, this is probably one of the most popular link in bio solutions out there. You'll notice that it's got kind of like a cool vibe to it, which I like. If you look at some of these sample ones that they have, we go to like HBO's, there's like a background, we've got your links to your social media with icons, and then this list of links, right? So we've got our profile image. I don't think we're going to have time to do this modal type thing, but that would be kind of a good challenge for you after this. Go and build this modal where you can have people share it on their different social media. But the main reason I want to build these link in bios tools is like developers probably shouldn't be using tools like this because it's so easy to take something like Astro and toss a little bit of data at it, like your list of links and some images, and host it yourself on your own domain, not have to pay this, $9 a month, or looks like it's free, unlimited links, but you don't really get that custom URL on your own domain and getting all the traffic to your own domain, which I would recommend. And the cool thing about going with a solution like Astro and a custom setup is that because it is on your domain, it is your code, this can just be a page on your website, which is how I would recommend doing it. So, in my case, it's jadenirwin.com/links, which I've been working on mine. I kind of removed most of my links because I've been rebuilding it. But yeah, you'll notice that we've got a profile image, got the handle, which is probably the most common handle that you're using across social media. And then we've got some social media links there too. So I'm kind of rebuilding mine, so I figured I might as well record it and we'll see how it goes. I'm going to be creating a new theme with Astro, or a theme or template. Feel free to use those words interchangeably. Astro likes to call them themes. Most commonly, you're probably going to see them called templates. Little side note here. So Odyssey theme is featured on Astro. That's pretty cool to see. It's in their featured category. There's Odyssey theme. And I did push some updates to it. So if you go to the code for Odyssey theme, you'll see that I released version 1.0 just recently, and that's supporting version 1.0 of Astro. So if you have any issues, it looks like someone did file an issue I'll have to take a look at. If you have any issues, let me know. Happy to look into those. But I want to make sure Odyssey theme continues to get support and people continue to use it. I've kind of seen some used by in here, and it's cool to start poking around and seeing how people are using Odyssey theme for their own websites. And that's really why I built it, is to create a really good foundation for people who want to make their own site with Astro. So if you have any feedback, you want to contribute, hop in there, deploy it to Netlify, start hacking away on it, and let me know if you have any PRs or ideas of things that you think would improve the Odyssey theme. So little side note there. Let's hop back over to this linked up theme. I'm going to call it linked up. Hopefully that's a cool name. If it's lame, I'm sorry. Let's just do npm init Astro here. And we are truly starting from scratch. I know I don't do this too often in my videos, but I wanted to, kind of challenge myself to do everything here in the recording. So yeah, let's do this minimal setup here. It probably won't have all the SEO value that you get from my other starters. That's okay. Might add that, after the recording, but the general idea of what we want to cover is how to do the styles, how to connect the data to those links so it creates those links for you. Maybe some simple styles too. So let's see here. Let's open up Linked Up and we'll install. Make sure we've got Astro installed. Full transparency, I was going to live stream this and that just did not go well with my internet connection. So I'm really sorry to anyone who might have tried to join the stream, maybe got a notification for it. Had to take it down pretty fast because my internet was not cooperating with that, and I apologize. So maybe live streaming in the future if I can get some fiber internet where I'm at, but my upload speeds are not the best. Download's pretty good, but upload's not so much. Cool. Let's go ahead and get this started. So we're going to do npm start. Luckily, Astro pre-builds that for us. That dev also works. You can do npm run dev. I like to do npm start, and does the same thing, Astro dev. Cool. Let's go to the index page. This index page is going to be our home page for the links. So title, let's call it linked up. And what we're going to do here is Copilot's already getting a little bit crazy here. Let's do new file. In our source, we're going to call this links dot. Let's just do JavaScript. That's fine. Export const links equals an array, and each one's just going to be an object. Let's do text homepage. That's fine for now. URL. Let's just get some quick data in here. Text about. You can learn about. Another really common link that people have is like their kit or their uses page. So you could do like text. Oops. Uses / uses, right? And then even in this links, we could also do like export const social links, something like that. And it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be an array of links. So title, and we're going to do, you know, the usual ones: Instagram, icon, Instagram, URL, linked up app. That's fine. That's not real, but whatever. And let's see if Copilot starts to figure it out. Cool. We'll just get like 3 links in there for now. You can add more if you want over time. And you know what? Because we're developers, let's put GitHub in there too. GitHub. URL. What do we got going here? And let's just do github.com. Cool. So we got social links. We've got our links. You know, we could make this text longer too. Let's do text like, what's a really common one? See my latest blog post. Something like that. You could do title case on there too, or more informal, see my latest blog post with an exclamation point, something like that. Cool. So we've got data. Now, how do we pull in that data and start iterating on it, right? So how do we create a list of links? We'll do styles later in a little bit, but let's do const links equals, and we're going to import up here at the top, import links from, and looks like it's up, and then links. And I think since we already have the array, Copilot has no idea what to do with that. We're going to do links.map link, and that should be fine. Link.url, link.name, ours is link.title. Cool. And what do we got here? Unexpected token, constant part. It's not happy about this for some reason. Let's rip that out. Let's do a list item. Get rid of that guy. And what do we got going here? My rename extension's going a little crazy here. Our links are not happy. It's freaking out here. It's actually freaking out on the import, I believe. Yeah, so now it's building. Okay. Always make sure your JavaScript or JSON is always formatted correctly, and you wouldn't have issues like that. So link.title, we called it title, right? So, text. Cool. Home, about, uses, see my latest blog posts, and let's get a link on that one too. Let's do URL /blog, something like that. Make sure we add a comma there too. Cool. So links are passing across. You'll see in the bottom left corner, home, about, uses. Like none of these, they don't actually go anywhere. But yeah, that's kind of the idea. And then what we want to do above this list is let's do a div. Let's put an image in here, and you know what? I'm going to cheat just for the sake of time. I'm going to go to my link in bio page /links. I'm going to right click, copy image address, and let's just not do the WebP. Let's do I think it's a JPEG. It's the actual type. Cool. Giant picture of my face. That's awesome. So width, let's do something like 64 pixels. Probably going to want something bigger than that, but that's fine for now. Equals 64 pixels. Yeah, we're definitely going to want something bigger than that. That's a little better. Cool. And you know what? Let's wrap this all. Good old Emmet has an awesome wrap function. I'm actually going to do that a little bit slower for you guys. So highlight everything that you want to wrap, and then Command-Shift-P inside VS Code, or Control-Shift-P if you're on Windows. Wrap with abbreviation. I use that all the time. So Emmet will take whatever you're wrapping, and you can pass a Emmet abbreviation. So in our case, we're going to do let's do an article. Be semantic about it. So article tag, and then this article is going to be our main wrapper that is centered. And let's just do a style tag. And because this is all like raw HTML on this page, I'm going to put it in the head tag. You don't have to do that with Astro. You can just kind of put it where you want to, which is one cool thing about Astro. Let's do article. In our case, there's only one article. Actually, let's add a class. And this class is going to be, main article. That's just BIM styling for you. Copilot's got the right idea. So flex direction column, line item center, justify content center, height 100, viewport height. We might not end up doing justify content center. I kind of like things being at the top of these link in bio pages, maybe add some extra padding or something like that. We could do something like padding let's do something like 10 VH 0. Cool. Just add some 10 VH on the top. So we might even be able to do something like 90 VH just to compensate that difference. Feel free to play around with height. We might even want to do like min height just to not cap it at a specific height. That's probably best practice there. So we've got our image. Let's add a class to our image, and we're going to do profile img. Profile img. And let's do width height. It's kind of there. I don't know if I want to do the width height 100 pixels. Let's get rid of that. But I do like that border radius 50%. We like that nice circular image. You could be different, not do a border radius 50%. You could do a border radius like 3 rem. Something kind of funky, like a little squircle type thing if you want. I like the classic circular though myself, so I'm going to stick with that. Inside this div, we've got our image tag, right? Let's put another div at this top section, right? And this top section is really where the social media is going to go, but it's also going to be where our tag, right? So at Jaden Irwin is my tag. So let's do, with link in bio pages, you're not really going to be getting a lot of SEO value, but you could make it an H1 if like you want that to be the most important piece of text is your social media tag. I'm just probably going to do a P tag, to be honest, call it a day. But technically you should have an H1 on every page, so you could make that an H1. It's just kind of weird because it's a short H1. It's not very descriptive of what it is. But yeah, totally up to you on how you want to format that. And you know what we could do is move that out of the div and make this div specifically for the social media, social links, or social container. Let's do social dash links container. Something like that. And we could do display flex. I like grid for this type of thing. I'm not one who's fully switched over to display flex with grid gaps. I still think it's kind of missing in terms of support. I'm not quite ready to commit to that yet. So I'm sticking with grid if I'm using gap myself. But that's totally up to you. If you want to start using display flex and adding a gap, go for it. Let's do a repeat. I know that there's going to be 4 in there, right? I'm pretty sure we did 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. So repeat 1 FR, and let's do grid gap 1 rem. You know what we also are going to want is npm. One of my favorite Astro packages is Astro icon. I know there's also like a little thing that you have to add that I'm not going to remember to the config. Let's do Astro icon, and let's go to the readme vite ssr. Looks like you got to add that to the config. Got to remember that if you're using this package. I'm sure there's like an underlying reason why you have to do that for the package, but super useful, mainly because I can go to this icons link, and all of the icons that are available here are available to me now because of this one package, and I can just start using them. So let's do npm start again. We're going to import Astro icon from Astro icon. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, import icon from Astro icon, and then see how you can do icon pack name. So pack would be the pack here, and then the name of it. Super cool that you just have all of those icons readily available to you. I like the shorthand option too, so icon name, and then you can just copy it from whatever icon you click on, and it passes it across. In our case, we're going to be doing some social icons though. So this is one of the easiest ways to get social icons. We're just going to search GitHub, MDI, GitHub, looks like. And this is actually, we're going to go to our links. Let's do icon, MDI, GitHub, title, GitHub URL, so that looks good. And we're going to do Facebook, good old Facebook. That's not a dig at Facebook if you're a Facebook fan. If you're a Facebook fan, all the power to you. I guess Meta now. I'm gonna have to get used to that. Oh, and that was Twitter, so let's go back. Search for Twitter. And these might not match, you know, because they're not coming from the same pack, but they should be in the same ballpark in terms of width, height, and everything. And we can sort of force that with Astro icon too. Let's do this as a list. Let's be a good developer about things, right? So social links, I could call it UL. I like to call it list. But if you want to do UL, you can. Social links list. That is a UL. And then we're going to map over. Make sure we import it. Social links. We're going to map over those. So social links dot map. Not capitalized. Don't know why that happened. And it's kind of got the right idea. So icon name, link dot name. Let's see, link dot icon, and link dot href. We're going to do link dot URL. So Copilot helps me out in these, so you're not watching me fiddle about too much with basic HTML. If that bugs you that I'm using Copilot, let me know. I'm not opposed to not using Copilot on videos if it is truly not helpful for you guys. But yeah, so list, a, icon, link.url. Let's see what we've got. Okay, that didn't quite work. And that's okay. Oh, and I did link.url, so link.icon, right? Hey, look at that. That's awesome. So you got our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, GitHub, all linking already. So see, we already have the general structure of this links page, and we could go crazy with like a super crazy background color if we wanted on like the body, right? So let's be unique here. Let's do something different. What about like a simple dark theme? Let's do, and I'm used to using variables for body colors, so let's do background color. Something not quite black, but almost black. And we're going to do color, white. Normally you probably shouldn't do pure black and pure white. We could do HSL colors too if we wanted. Let's also target all of our A tags. And let's do white, right? We could also just do probably better color inherit. So see, we've got a simple dark theme going on here, and we've got our links, right? So in the case of this page, we could just override all the ULs, do list style none, padding 0, margin 0, get rid of all of the, default list styles. And we've got our profile image, got our social media tag, we've got Instagram, that's linked up to the Instagram link that we passed in, Twitter, Facebook, GitHub, home about uses see my blog posts. Sweet. Now let's start styling these a little bit more. Let's go ahead and add a class to this. We're going to do links list. Seems really generic, but it's the links page, right? So that's what we're going to go with. Class, you call this links link. Seems dumb, but if you're trying to be pretty consistent with the way you name things, sometimes you have dumb names. That's how it goes. So links list, let's do display grid. It's got the right idea. Let's do gap. I like to just do a general gap most of the time. Let the browser figure it out. And we're just going to do grid template columns 1 FR. So this is back to the same reason. You could do flex. I'm using grid here, so I'm going to stick with grid if I'm using gap. You could do margin bottom on these too. That's totally fine. Just do like flex. Flex direct. That's probably, honestly a little bit better. Flex direction column. And then we would just target each individual link in this links list. So dot links link margin bottom on rim. Simpler solution. And then let's stick with the line item center. And then now we've got this links list, links link, and let's do a background color of white color like that. Let's do display flex I don't even know if we need to do that. Let's just do width 100%. Text align center, cool. And let's add some big padding. Not too big, but we could do like height wise, let's do 1 rem. Width wise, add some extra padding, cool. We could add some margin around this too, so margin 1 rem, auto. Add a little bit of spacing, right? So we've got our links. Let's do some, got to add some border radius, right? If you want to make it look good. Probably could even get away with like 2 rem, it's fine. Get that pill shape. If you go back to our link tree styles, they like to do these circular links. You could do whatever shape of links you want to do, but this is pretty common, right? We want a little hover animation on there too. Probably could do a hover animation on our social icons as well. But you can see how quickly, like something like Astro, really, you know, vanilla HTML, CSS too. But Astro just makes it so fast to have these embedded styles and scope styles. I could even make components out of these too. So that's probably a really good use case, to be honest. Like if you go back to Linktree, let's see if we've got some samples. Another Linktree alternative is like, what was it called? Z Linktree app. I always forget what it's called. Znap Link, Z-N-A-P Link. This one's really cool. You could emulate this style too with like kind of like a cover image, and then a nice big piece of your, you know, your name, and then some descriptive text. Actually, let's do that. So let's make the H1 our name. I think that's a better approach. Jaden Irwin. And then that's just going to be, we'll make sure we center that here in a second. I'll get rid of my old links page too. And that serif font is driving me nuts. Let's just fix that real quick. And let's do just a simple Arial sans serif. Cool. So Jaden Irwin, let's do a little tagline, right? Like that could be, it could be an H2 or a P tag, to be honest. Let's just do a P tag. Let's say designer and developer create videos on YouTube. That's kind of a cool look, actually, switching over that way, but let's see what happened to our links there. So these got to be a crazy size. Let's go back. We probably should add a class to this. Let's do class top content. You can call that whatever you want. And let's do text align center. Centers our text there. And let's also add width and height to these social icons so they don't get too crazy. Let's do something like 42 pixels. Don't have to go too crazy with the size of those. That might even be too big, to be honest. Let's try 36 pixels. Yeah, better. Cool. And then our top content and our bottom content, we could break it up that way if we wanted. I think it's fine how it is. Let's add margin bottom 2 rem. Just kind of separate this from that. Let's get rid of the bottom. I think that evens it out a little bit. Cool. So we've got profile image. Our H1 is our name, as it should be. Got a little tagline about what you do. Got our social icons. Let's do a little tiny subtle hover animation on those. Just like Linktree. And social links list. Did we give a class to the social links? We did not. So class, oops. Social links link. We're going to target that specifically inside. Copilot is pretty phenomenal, to be honest. I'm just going to praise it all the time, I guess. It knows the general idea of what you're doing so often that it saves quite a bit of time. I couldn't recommend it enough, to be honest. I think it's well worth whatever they're charging, $10 a month, $15 a month. It's probably still worth it. Yeah, just a huge fan of GitHub Copilot. They've got a winner on their hands, and I'd love to see some other competitors out there too. It sounds like Amazon's working on something. If you want to take a look at that, go for it. Copilot's just so useful. And let's do transition, transform. I believe that's right. Scale, maybe? Let's do a simpler one. Oh, I need to have the actual transition. Yeah, transform was right. Yeah, there we go. Little ease in and ease out on the scale. We could probably put the same transition on the links link animation. We could do the same exact type of thing. Again, Copilot knows exactly what I'm doing. That's probably way too much though, so let's do 1.025. Just much more subtle. That's what we want. And let's do cursor pointer. And then what we also want to do is make sure that the A tag fills up the entire link. So this is actually a really common pitfall that a lot of devs make. So see how I added cursor pointer to the card or the pill? If I click here, it's not going to do anything. I actually have to click on home for that to work. A lot of devs forget about that with their links. So you'll want to do something like display flex. There's a couple ways to do this, but notice now, because I added display flex to the A tag, it's filling up the entire, if I inspect it, you can see it better. It's filling up more of that space, right? And we want to make sure it's width 100%, height 100%. Now we're still not covering that. Probably want display flex there too. So yeah, see, that's our issue, is I'm hovering over the pill and then I get the link. Not sure why. So display flex width height 100%. Gonna be doing a little bit of debugging here for you guys. You can see what they're doing here too. So they're doing some break word stuff, making sure that it doesn't white space normal, background none, color transition. So overflow hidden. So they did display flex as well with 100%. Okay, so I know what I did. The padding is on the card or the pill. So that's why when I'm hovering over right here, we've got padding and it's wrapping the link. We actually want the link to handle its padding. So let's go back here. I don't think we need the height though. We're going to cut the padding out from the link or the list item, and we're going to add the padding to the href. So see, now we've got the right idea. Let's do display flex on that too. Cool. So now if you hover over the link, I'll fix the width on it in a second, but so see, we've got our clickable link everywhere, and it is working. It's just not going anywhere. You can see it on the about. Cool. So got our pill there, and we want to make sure that this is align item center. We could do text align center on that too. Justify content center because it is a row. Cool. So we got our pills in there, pill buttons. And then let's go ahead and remove the text decoration. Oops, none. Thinking remove the underline. There we go. Cool. So we've got our width there. The width of the ULs, or the width of the list, is super wide. And what we probably want to do is add like a max width to this and then have everything go off of that max width. We could add a max width just to the UL, but let's start with the article. I know it's centered right now, but technically there's no max width on it. So let's do main article, max width, 700 pixels. We're going to do margin 0 auto. So now it's centered. And let's go down to our UL. Display flex, width 100%. Yep, so we just want to add it to the list item. I was just making sure I'm adding it to the right thing there. So links list, width 100%. So now we've got our giant pill buttons with a little animation on them. Got our social links, got a little tagline, got our H1 with our name, profile image. You could even, I don't know, since you're coding this, you probably know how code works, right? But you could even put the profile inside of this data here, this links.js. So just for the sake of showing how that would work, you do export const. This could be just a very simple string, right? img URL. If you wanted to have, and the only reason that you would do this is if you basically want to customize the links as data all the time. So like social media, let's do general info. Or main, how about main content? I think that makes more sense. Main content, and then we're going to do img URL. We're going to copy that. Sorry, I was cutting myself off there, but basically the reason you would want to do something like this is you have this links.js file that has all of the content in it. You can go in, edit this file, add a new link, remove a link, add a new style or anything like that, and you're good to go, right? I don't want to have this video be too long, but you could even have like settings. So because this is just a general JavaScript object, you could have like raised true or something like that, and that changes a setting on the component of that list item, and that could be passed in. Instead of this being just a simple list item, it could be a component, an Astro component that has props on it, and you could toggle on and off those props depending on the data that's getting passed through. You could even do like a cool style for a featured link, and it looks different than the other links. That would be a really useful use case for having JavaScript-based data controlling these links. So instead of having to go in and edit your code all the time, you've got just this very simple JavaScript file that has everything you need to swap out ready to go. And I've covered this, I believe I said in the beginning, how to do this with Sanity. Sanity is a really good use case of a headless CMS that's flexible enough that you could have a link in bio set up just like this, but have a visual interface to control the settings. That's another great setup that you could have with Astro. It might be a little bit overkill if you are just using Sanity for that. And I don't even know if I mentioned that in that video back then, but yeah, just keep that in mind. You maybe don't need to set up an entire Sanity headless CMS setup if you're just trying to do a simple, link in bio page. But let's go ahead. I'm kind of trying to multitask here. Let's do main content, I believe is what we called that. And our name is going to be main content.name. And this is going to be tagline. Tagline is going to be copied over, right? You could do the ampersand. I think you'd be okay with just an ampersand, just and, but I'm just going to be safe, and that should render still. Same idea, main content dot tagline. All data based, right? And it did what I thought it was going to do. Actually stringified it. So designer and developer creates videos on YouTube. And then we want to also pass this IMG URL. Let's actually do IMG source. Oops. Main content dot IMG source. There you go. So see, now literally all of our content for this links page is controlled in this links.js file. That's very simple JavaScript objects that really anyone, even if they don't know how to code, could look at this and be like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. So you got Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, GitHub. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, GitHub, and those all have links on them. Those are controlled. Home, about, uses, see my latest blog post, all right there. And you got your profile image. We probably should add an alt tag to that as well. You could do like an automated alt tag, so alt equals, and let's just use a string, right? So alt equals profile image of, and pass in the name. Main content dot name. Now if we go and inspect, profile image of Jaden Irwin, there you go, automated alt tag just like that. So you set your name, automatically adds the alt tag for you. So that's really it as far as controlling all of your links and your content for this page all inside of a simple JavaScript file that is easy to go in, update that. You could even go in GitHub, just manually update that file and never even have to clone the source code. As long as you have it set up with something like Netlify, Netlify would automatically rebuild this page with that data for you. So yeah, I mean, that's really it, you guys. If we go in here, kill it, npm run build, there we go. It's going to build it real quick. It's a one-page site, so it should be pretty fast. But yeah, there you go. We've got our build and our dist. You could deploy that to Netlify, deploy it to Firebase hosting, Vercel, wherever you want to host your static files, static site, and then you're all set to go. You could also make the image local too. That might be something that you want to do. In my case, it's just a source that's an external URL. But I know this is a longer one. I know I've been going for a little while here. What are we at? You probably weren't supposed to see that, but 44 minutes. And I'm sorry if you lost the video of me. You should still have my screen. But yeah, 44 minutes. This is a long one. Again, this is supposed to be a live stream. But yeah, thanks for joining, you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.